Hello, my name is Brianna Klein and I am in your Psychology 130 class. Today I will be presenting Alex number 3's life timeline. But before I get started, I would like to give you a little bit of background about Alex number 3. She has been born into a strict Muslim family that wanted her very much. Alex's mom, Selena, stays home to take care of her baby. Alex's father, Faisal, works as a diesel mechanic and is gone most of the time working 50 to 60 hours a week to help support the family. Alex's parents get along well and support each other. They live in a 2-bedroom house that is in a good neighborhood. Their neighbors consist of other families and small children, and a small mosque is nearby that they attend regularly. They have a limited family, but Selena spends most of her time taking care and developing a relationship with Alex. Now I will get into Alex's life timeline. So the first stage of development is the prenatal development. During this time, Alex is in his mother's womb. The obstacle that Alex faces is that his family home has sustained terrible damage from a hurricane. Alex's mother and family are experiencing major trauma from the hurricane that has leveled their house. So not only is Alex's mother experiencing the trauma, but also the baby she is carrying. So during the physical development, when a pregnant woman is experiencing major trauma and stress due to a natural disaster, there may be a result in poor birth outcomes. And these birth outcomes include either a low birth weight, cognitive impairments, and birth defects. During Alex's cognitive development, due to the possibility of a premature birth and a low birth weight, there may be more of a risk for cognitive impairments and birth defects. During Alex's social-emotional development, due to the physical and cognitive disabilities, children born prematurely are more likely to have difficulty coping with stress and managing their feelings. And these are also signs and symptoms of ADHD. After the prenatal development comes infancy. During this time, Alex has just been born. The obstacle challenge that Alex is facing is not meeting the milestones at the appropriate times. Parents and caregivers are concerned, and so they have no real diagnosis yet. During Alex's physical development, her delays will impact her physically because she is not able to gain specific skills at the expected age, such as turning over or sitting up. During Alex's cognitive development, the baby's brain has an enormous capacity. The first 2 years of Alex's life will affect her as an adult. Alex's delays in physical development will also greatly affect her cognitive development because as her child grows, each skill is based upon a previous one. So if Alex does not turn over or sit up at the expected time, she will also not crawl or walk at the expected time, so she will fall behind her peers. During Alex's social-emotional development, a supportive and nurturing environment are the building blocks to a child's development. Since Alex is not meeting the milestones at the appropriate times, she needs a very consistent and nurturing environment to grow at her own pace and succeed. After infancy comes childhood development. And during this time, Alex has just been introduced to the school system and her peers. The obstacle Alex faces is that the school has approached the parents about concern that Alex may have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And this is the first real diagnosis Alex gets. This is also known as ADHD. During Alex's physical development, ADHD will have a huge impact on her physical development. A child with ADHD will face constant stress and anxiety due to having trouble managing their emotions. During Alex's cognitive development, she will show poor effort in her schoolwork, fall behind her peers, and may even start to fail grades. During Alex's social-emotional development, a child with ADHD does not realize how their behaviors affects others, making it hard for Alex to form friendships or any other type of relationship. And I am a paraeducator at an elementary school in the special education room, and I work with one little boy that has ADHD. And when he does not receive his medication when coming to school, It not only affects him, but it affects the whole atmosphere of the classroom. So it is very important that a child with ADHD is properly treated, because when ADHD is left untreated, every area in a child's life is negatively affected. After childhood comes adolescent development. And during this time, Alex is just becoming a teenager and finding her place in the world. During this time, Alex is facing an obstacle. She has been experimenting with drugs and alcohol with her friends. There have been several arguments between Alex and parents. The school also found drugs in Alex's locker. And going back to the background of Alex, she is Muslim, so this is very frowned upon by her parents. And I've even seen cases of Muslims disowning their children because of acts they're doing that are against their religion. So during Alex's physical development, she is undergoing many changes in her body. Alex is in the middle of development, and every decision made will help or hurt her brain and body. During Alex's cognitive development, the brain is not fully developed until a person's mid-20s, making it more vulnerable to the impact of drug use. Alcohol and other drugs can damage the brain's wiring, increasing the likelihood of learning disabilities, health problems, and addiction in adulthood. So, as I have said before, everything that Alex is doing right now will affect her later in life. And this is kind of an example of it. During Alex's social and emotional development, Alex is experimenting with drugs to satisfy her needs and desires to fit in. Using drugs will have lasting negative effects on her emotionally, including damaging her relationships with friends and family, a late or no start in college or careers, and even jail time that will cause her to have a criminal record that cannot be expunged. After adolescence comes adulthood development. During this time, Alex is starting to go to college, develop relationships other than with her family members, and by now she has found her place where she feels comfortable. During this time, Alex's obstacle is that she has decided to drop out of college because she has no clear goals for the future. The parents are upset, and many people give advice about this step. During Alex's physical development, she is at risk for experiencing anxiety, depression, and again, addiction, which will affect her physical development very negatively. It will be hard to build a healthy lifestyle when experiencing all of these things combined. During Alex's cognitive development, this could impact Alex negatively because she is not accomplishing anything and not going anywhere in life, with no clear goals for the future. Over 80% of college dropouts are homeless or incarcerated. Because of Alex's life-altering decisions, she could potentially be a part of that percent. During Alex's social-emotional development, dropping out of school affects a person's self-esteem deeply and their well-being, knowing that they lack the skills and knowledge needed to fulfill their desires, especially when Alex sees her peers around her succeeding and graduating from college and starting families and having babies. After adulthood comes middle adulthood. During this time, Alex is noticing many different changes in her body as it ages. The obstacle Alex faces is that she is divorcing her longtime partner of 20 plus years. During her physical development, aging happens whether people want it to or not. All of Alex's earlier life choices, such as drinking and doing drugs, will have a lot of effect on her body now. She may even default back to those things as a result of the divorce if she takes it really hard. During Alex's cognitive development, it is traumatic for everyone involved when going through a divorce. Alex will experience many things, including a less than satisfying life if she cannot find another partner, major depression, and an increased mortality risk compared to those who will stay married at that age. During Alex's social-emotional development, to be successful at aging, she needs a positive perspective, which is hard to have when your body is changing, and will even be tougher as she is going through her divorce. After middle adulthood comes later adulthood. The obstacle that Alex faces is that she is raising her grandchildren after the parents were unable to. Alex has worked for 40 years and is on the cusp of retirement. During Alex's physical development, she is at risk for chronic diseases such as arthritis and heart disease. These chronic diseases will be even more likely because of Alex's past of using drugs and alcohol. Also, during this time, Alex is raising her grandchildren. Already at her age, she is having trouble performing everyday household tasks and basic hygiene. Adding kids into that mixture will put Alex to her limit. During Alex's cognitive development, she is continuing to age, which puts her at risk for more different neurocognitive disorders, such as dementia or even Alzheimer's. And if she were to develop one of those neurocognitive disorders, she would be unable to take care of herself and her grandchildren, which would put her at risk of being put in a nursing home. During Alex's social emotional development, she may be stressed or concerned with her aging, her health, loneliness, and her retirement. She is also taking on the responsibility of taking care of her grandchildren, which will put a burden on her and her finances. Then after later adulthood would come death and dying. Thank you for watching my presentation over Alex number 3's life timeline.